What is happening, guys? Welcome back to another episode here at B&C Outdoors. We are excited for today's video. If you follow our channel along, you know that we are big 6.5 Grendel fans here on the channel. And if you're new to the channel and you've not seen it, if you're interested, the boys have killed several deer with 6.5 Grendel. We've got a How Mini action, so check those videos on our channel out. A couple of good deer hunting videos with that round, and it's just a fantastic deer round. We absolutely love it here, and that's why we're so excited to bring you this video today, because we got a new 6.5 Grendel. Let us show you what we got. We are unboxing a brand new CVA Scout centerfire pistol. All right, let us show you first off what is inside the box. So inside the box here, you've got the gun. You have a swing swivel stud set, so you can actually put a sling on this gun. It comes with a trigger lock. Inside here, the paperwork, we have a warranty card to register your warranty. Oh, that was upside down, sorry about that. A thank you card, and then an owner's manual. Okay. All right, now that we've seen what's inside the box, let's take a look at the gun itself. This is a slick looking little gun. It is a stainless with a lightly fluted barrel. It does have a threaded hole here that you could put a front sight on it if you wanted to, as well as a rear sight under the base, but it comes with the scope base itself already installed. I did see, however, some reviews on this that said that their scope base loosened up on them. So as soon as I got it, I took the base off, added some blue Loctite, put the base back on so that I'll never have to worry about that thing ever coming loose. It has a threaded barrel for a suppressor or a muzzle brake. I don't know for certain what the thread pattern is on this. The owner's manual actually says contact CVA because the calibers have different thread patterns. From what I've seen online, it may be a metric thread pattern. So you may have to look up what caliber you have and see what the actual thread pattern is if you get one of these guns, because they make this particular pistol, I know, in 6.5 Grendel and in 350 Legend, so the thread pattern might be different, I don't know. This one has a hammer extension on here. As you can see, I can't cock it right now. It does have a hammer lock that locks the hammer forward. It has a really nice little trigger. It's a single stage trigger, but it seems to be really light and just, I mean, there's no play in it whatsoever. Very good feeling little trigger, I will say. The gun itself, it breaks down via this little handle here. It feels like an aluminum trigger guard. Breaks down. There we go, you can see down the barrel. All in all, I mean, it's got a very positive click, just clomp. It is, as you would imagine, with a 14-inch barrel. That's what it has, 14-inch barrel. It is kind of, it's front heavy. I mean, it's a little heavy on the front, but I want to also have a scope mounted on here. So that's going to make it even more kind of front heavy. But with our bog pod, I think I can vise this baby in, or with a tripod, just set it right in there. Easy peasy. Cannot wait to take this thing deer hunting. I am so excited about that. Of course, to take the fore end off, it's got a screw here. It has a bolt right here to take the grip off. They actually make a grip that you can put on here, and actually it will have a pistol brace on it, like on an AR, which is really, really interesting. And I'd really like to have one. So that may be something for the future. If you wanted to put a buttstock on it permanently. So I have seen some people pin and weld a muzzle brake on there, making it an overall length of 16 inches, which is what is required legally without a tax stamp to consider it an SBR. But it's a cool little gun. So, and what I'm going to do here, that we looked at that, if you've not seen the video on it yet, I just posted up a video, just a little review and unboxing of this BSA Edge 2 to 7 powered pistol scope. We are going to mount this baby on there. Give you a look at that. Pretty cool. I'm gonna give you a kind of a quick size comparison of what that's gonna look like on here. I think it's gonna, of course, it's gonna set up a little bit once the rings are on there, but I think it's gonna look pretty good. I'm very excited about that. Pretty cool scope. Like I said, if you haven't checked out that video on that BSA, check that out on our channel as well. Hopefully the next time you see me, I'm gonna have this BSA mounted, and we are gonna take this baby to the range. All right, so we're going to do a little bit of load development with this here CVA Scout. So let me tell you what I've got and kind of what my plans are with the CVA Scout on the first shots. We're just going to go straight into load development, and hopefully we'll find a really good accurate load, or maybe even a couple that we can use. So I have primed, sized, trimmed, all that jazz. Some hornady brass, so I'm using hornady brass. Got CCI 450 Magnum small rifle primers. And I have 2 bullet types. Since this thing only has a 14-inch barrel, it's going to be lacking in velocity. With my Howa Mini Action, I use 120 grain bullets because it has a longer barrel, and I get about 2,500 feet per second-ish with the Howa Mini Action. Now this one having such a short barrel, I am going to move down to 100 grain range, and I have 2 projectiles, 2 bullets that I'm going to be using, and I want to work a load up for. Both of them hunting bullets. The first one that I'm going to be working with is a Hornady Interlock 100 grain. These have been discontinued, but just so happened I got a box of them a couple of years ago. They've been sitting on my shelf, and I've got about 60 of them left. So I'm going to work up a load. 60 of them, I can work a load up and still kill about 50 deer. So that's a good little chunk of bullets there. And then, of course, I have one 50-round box of Nosler Ballistic Tip 100 grain. And these things are like unicorn dust, it seems. They're never in stock. They're sold out everywhere, and I can't find them. But I just so happened for a couple of years, I've had one box sitting on my shelf, brand new, unopened. So I'm going to work with those as well. And I love ballistic tips. I use the 120s in the Howa Mini Action, and it just hammers deer. And I got a feeling that this one is going to be no different. So I'm working with Nosler load data. My favorite and my go-to powders, IMR 80208 XBR for the 6.5 Grendel. Fantastic powder. In the Nosler book, this is the most accurate powder tested. And I'm using this data for 2 reasons. I don't have a Hornady book for one, but I have the actual ballistic tip, 100 grain Spitzer, 2.245. That's what I'm going to use. And I'm going to use this powder. And then the partition is shaped. It's a flat base. It's very, very similar to that Hornady interlock. So 2.200 is going to be my overall length on that. And I like, for a hunting load, I like to start with a middle charge and move up toward the max in half grain increments. So I'm going to load 3 rounds at 28, 3 rounds at 28.5, and then 3 rounds at 29, and see which one of those groups the best. All right, guys, we are back. We are finally here at the range with our CVA Scout and 6.5 Grendel, getting ready to take the first shots down range. Kind of semi lined it up, looking through the barrel to get me on paper, and I got a 100-yard target down range, and so I hope I'm on paper because we want to shoot a group. I've just got some generic, these are Sierra Match King 120s. I don't even remember what powder I loaded them with, but just something to try the first shots out and just see how she's going to fire. $22.98 with that 120. It's almost 2,300. That's not terrible. Definitely not the first shot group that I wanted, but it is at 100 yards with a pistol. Looks to be about a 3.5 inch group, something like that. But I do have my other test loads that I'm going to try out, and hopefully I can get them a little better on paper, take my time a little more, and get a really good group out of this thing. All right, we are on to load development. with the CVA Scout. First up is going to be 28 grain group, 28 grains of IMR 8208 XBR with a 100 grain hornady interlock spire point bullet at 100 yards. About 8 inches high, 4 inches right. You can see by that target, very vertical, but I mean that's only an inch and probably inch and a half group at 100 with a handgun. All right, so that first group of 28 was actually on my ballistic tip target, so that kind of messes things up a little bit. But which the first one didn't do bad. It was like an inch. It was very vertically strung shots, but it was like an inch and a half or less. I mean, so really not bad. Handgun at 100 yards. I'm liking how this is starting. Here we go. 28 and a half hornady interlock. .29 grains, 8208. The Scout, 100 grain hornady interlock. All right, let's go through these on the target here and just see what has happened thus far with the hornady interlock. Okay, so my first group of 28 grains, obviously there's nothing here, and I couldn't get it on the action camera because it shot really high. It shot up here on my other target. About an inch and a half group, which is not terrible. I readjusted some, brought it down for my 28 and a half here, 2 in the same hole, and then 1 about 2 1/4 inches up here. So not a great group, but this partially could have been me. That's a big pull. And I'm shooting a pistol. Now the 29 grain. Now this, I readjusted again to try to get closer to bullseye, and look at this. I mean, that's a 1 inch group all day long with a handgun. Now I know it's a scoped handgun, but still, handguns are, it's harder than a rifle. So that is fantastic. This is very promising. I'm actually gonna throw me a new target over here for the 100 grain ballistic tip, since the interlock shot on the top target. Give me a clean target up here, and we'll go ahead and shoot the three shot groups with the Nosler ballistic tip. I've definitely found my hornady interlock with that 29 grain. Could be the same with the ballistic tip, but we're about to find out. All right, so let's just go over the entirety of what we've shot here today real quick. That way I can kind of keep everything straight, and that you guys can kind of understand everything that happened and what results I got here today, because I want to give the best review possible of this little gun because I like it a lot, and the load development of it, so that maybe it'll help some of you guys in the future if you get one of these little pistols, or you're trying to work up a load for a 6.5 Grendel in general. So let's take a look at it real quick. We're going to start out with the 100 grain Nosler ballistic tip. And like I'd stated earlier, it's 8208 XBR powder with the ballistic tip. So the 28 grain load gave me probably about an inch and a half. So respectable looking load at 100 yards. 28 and a half, that's probably right at an inch and a quarter maybe. There to there, but you know, a pretty uniform group, and I actually had readjusted from this height here, and I adjusted down. I mean, that's right around the bullseye. That's a deer killing load for sure. Go over to 29, and we're probably at about 2 inches. Still a deer killing load for a pistol. I'm not going to shoot it more than probably 200 yards anyway, but of course I like this one the best. So this is going to be my deer load, 28 and a half, and it's actually with the 120 grain bullet. 28 and a half grains is what I use in the Howa mini action rifle with a Nosler ballistic tip. So just 20 grains heavier, same powder charge, and it works out great. All right, now let's take a look at the hornady interlock results here. I can actually peel a piece of target back for this one. So the first one, 28 grains, I was shooting way high and to the right. So I'm gonna cover that up, and there is that group right there. It's a very vertical strung group, probably 2 inches. So that was the 28. Back down here, I readjusted a little, 28.5. I brought that down, got 2 cutting each other, and then 1 right here in the bottom. So probably about a 2 1/4 inch group, maybe 2.5. So not crazy good, but then you get over here to 29, and 29 is the sweet spot for that hornady interlock. It's a very flat, non-vertical group, and it's probably an inch and 1/4 across. So that'll be the load that I'll use for that particular bullet. So guys, I know this was probably a bit of a lengthy video, just all the talking that I did about the gun itself and the load workup and all that sort of stuff, but I wanted to do the review and the load workup and the first firing all together at one time. So I hope you stuck with me through this video. If you like these kind of videos, gun reviews, hunting, fishing, all things outdoors, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, follow us along. Me, Bentley, and Colin, they're not here with me today, but we're always right here on B&C Outdoors doing cool videos like this. So follow us along, and I appreciate you guys watching. Have a great day.